Put it on the side. Put it on the side. And it becomes a kid stuff.
It would just stop.
Front wheel kit.
All right, are we good?
There we go. That's good. Oh, he's backing it in?
No. Yeah,
Okay.
You gotta take them off. Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage. Today we're gonna be working on our friend Pete's old Survivor Custom that we did a video on a handful of years ago where we stole the car from him after I had sitting in his garage for about 7 or 8 years after breaking down and life getting in the way. We decided to steal it from Pete, and it ended up being a whole debacle. If you didn't see that video, we'll drop it down in the comments, but basically we ended up finding that the engine had leaked water or coolant into the cylinders, corroded the cylinders, and went from just doing some ignition work, we thought, to replacing the engine overnight and then bringing it back. So basically what happened, we were getting all that work done, hoping that Pete would be able to kind of continue to work on it and drive it again. Just with with age and health, he hasn't been able to get it on the road fully. And also there's some stuff that we didn't get finished. So we decided to take it back. With him knowing it this time, you may saw it in the Week of Life video, we have the car back in the shop, and this winter we kind of decided we're going to go over a bunch of the stuff that, much like our cars, Pete was doing the same thing years ago. So when he put this on the road in the late 90s, early 2000s, he put it together, and there was some stuff that maybe he didn't love or he didn't get finished, but he just drove the thing and enjoyed it for all those years, and until about 2015 when he parked it, I think is what he said. So we're gonna go over the car, fix anything just from him driving it all these years that needs to be maintained, some stuff that maybe just needs to go over. One thing that he agreed upon that we definitely wanna do is it still was starting and running on 6 volt. We're gonna convert it over to 12 volt, just with him not driving it quite as often. He is having trouble with cranking the engine and filling the carbs up and all that. So we're gonna get it converted to 12 volt, make it a little easier, go over all the wiring, go over all the brakes. A lot of this work Steve's gonna be working on while I'm kind of in the corner working on the Mercury still, but we wanna get this thing on the road so Pete can be cruising it next season. So that's the goal. Today we're gonna get it up in the air, start looking over the car, see anything that's been done. I've never seen it up in the air. This car was built in I think 48 or 49. It was originally customized. It was only like a car that was a year or 2 old at that point. So it'd be neat to see what's going on underneath of the car and just try and get our punch list of what we need to do. So today's a discovery day on the old custom convertible Survivor that Pete has had for a very long time. So let's get started.
We got the brake shoes off of the front of Pete's car, and the left front wheel cylinder was leaking apparently for a really long time because this brake material is just mush. It's just coming apart. So we're definitely going to need new shoes, and we're going to pull the brake cylinders apart, see if they're rebuildable. If they are, we'll throw a couple kits in there and get this thing rolling again. All right, we have the brake cylinders off the car. This was the one that was leaking, and it had a lot of corrosion and such inside the boots. I knocked it apart, and it doesn't look horrible inside of it, so we're gonna clean these up real good and see if they're rebuildable. Here's the other one. This one wasn't even leaking, but you can just see all the corrosion and everything that built up over the years just from sitting. So we'll get them cleaned up and see what they look like. There we go. Get the other wheel cylinders blown apart and have them soaking. We have these good bodies lying around. These are already honed and everything, so we can keep them working while we're waiting for them other ones to be cleaned. Hopefully we could put them right in the place of these for the next one that needs them. Alright, here we have the left front. You can tell the larger end of the brake cylinder points forward, and the bleeder port is up. So that's our left front.
All right, so Mike and I were shooting a podcast, or recording a podcast, since Steve got this up on the lift and is checking out the brakes, number one. First of all, when we did the video where we drove it to surprise Pete from his one son's house down the road to his house, when we hit the brakes, it was chattering really bad and seemed a little sketchy. So start looking at the brakes. Again, remind you that Pete drove this from like 99 to 2015, so he put some miles on this thing. And this is one of the drums he just pulled off. That here is a piece of the brake shoe. More than likely, that's why the rear wheel wasn't spinning. You could see it was all coming apart. I'm trying not to touch it. It's all asbestos nonsense. So Steve's been vacuuming up. So that one was like that. You said the front one was...
The front one was even worse, yeah. The one the brake cylinder was leaking. I've never seen like asbestos fibers just lying there before.
Yeah, so these shoes, at least 2 or 3 of them were like the shoes were falling apart, and this wheel was very difficult to turn, so I think these chunks were getting caught in between the shoes and holding up the brakes, and we just had the unfortunate of, it got really bad when we were pushing it out of the trailer. The drums, Steve noticed, we pulled one of the drums. We pulled both of them, but we noticed on this one. It may be hard to see, but the drum is really much thicker on one side than the other. It's like paper thin, getting close to paper thin on this side. So it was not, the drum's probably out of round, and it was hitting one side. That's definitely going to make that thumping feeling that we felt. Could have been this drum was starting to, was out of round and whatever else. That one we didn't check. This is off this driver's side that was falling apart. And it's, I don't know if I see it on this side as much.
Yeah, that drum is actually in pretty good shape. This drum's reusable.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's just got all the material that was falling apart. You could see it was sticking. It was getting gooey and just sticking on the inside. So that was also probably part of our problem. I could see it was, so I think the shoe was turning gummy, was probably grabbing the drum.
Yep.
And that was really what was going on there. So we just gotta, that's just from age and sitting and whatever else. So that'll have to, this one we're gonna have to replace because it looks like it's out of round. I'm sure if I put that on the drum lathe, you would see that it would be like, it would only hit every half rotation. Yep. So we'll probably replace that one, we'll check that one and maybe clean it up a bit. But we definitely are gonna need, Pete brought us shoes, so we're gonna put all new shoes around And like you saw, Steve's working on the wheel cylinders as we speak, getting them all fixed up. But you said the brake lines and the soft lines.
Pete had replaced them, I guess, when he got the car. They're not bad, they're just old. They're not cracked. The soft lines are a little hard, but they're not cracked, so.
So we'll go over and inspect a little better. We gotta look at the master cylinder next, but at least the brakes, we got the kind of mystery solved that the shoes were falling apart and we need to put replacements on. So we'll work on that and keep inspecting. All right, so Steve, waiting on brake fluid. Steve in that last shot was cutting a drum on the ground because we moved the drum lathe to the other building, saying, oh, we're not going to need the drum lathe till like next spring or summer. And here he needed to cut a drum because the one drum was junk, and Pete brought us a brand new one, and it needed to be cut a little bit just so it fit over the brand new shoes. So he's gonna, till we get brake fluid tomorrow, he's gonna jump to the engine bay. So a couple things happened when we were putting this engine together. We kind of forgot that this engine, it's a 59 AB, but whoever had it in the car last had a 3-bolt distributor on it with a 3-bolt timing cover. We did not think of this until it was already mounted in the car, and we had it running, and we went to bolt the 59 AB fan on, and it hits that distributor. And you have to pull or at least slide the crank pulley forward to change the timing cover, and that's where the whole midnight, Jason and I working until midnight, and it was kind of a mess. So what we're going to do is try and correct all that. So there is adapters that you can basically go from a 2-bolt to a 3-bolt, and that they used to sell all the time back in the day. So I think at that time I didn't have one, so we're going to try and swap that on, and then we can put the correct fan on. And we're also going to try and go through the carburetors and get them all rebuilt because the car's been sitting a while. Pete's had it on the road since '99, so they've been 24, 25 years they've been on the car. So they probably time to go through them. 25 years is quite a while. So
yeah, we got lucky. It started and ran with them.
Yeah, it didn't overflow. The carbs didn't stick. So we're gonna go through all that stuff. We got to rehook the choke up and just blah blah blah. So let's start with the distributor though. We got to get that swapped over just so we can get the fan on, so it has a fan, of course. So that's the next step. Although it'll be good to keep that distributor on the bench, on the shelf, because.
Yeah, we don't have one of those for running.
For a bolt-on option.
Yeah.
Run stand. We got to spray paint it pink or something.
I've been threatening to do that for years. I'm going to have to do that eventually.
Yeah, we might have to. Even that probably won't stop us.
No, because we got black spray paint too.
Yeah. We can really quickly swap it back. I'll take care of this.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
It's our rule, we just break it.
There we go. There we go.
Just never been able to keep that rule.
Now, run stand parts are fair game.
You can actually fit in this one. This is like made for you.
Yeah. Me and I are the same figure, the goofy guys.
Yeah. It's almost sitting too low for you.
That's about right.
Yeah?
I mean, I'd like it. I'd room for a top hat in there too.
Yeah. I think the seat could probably be a little higher for you. Looking through the steering wheel almost.
A little bit, yeah.
The other flashlights. Oh, there's one.
And there's one in here.
I'll leave that one for you. You're gonna need it to fill the master at some
I
point.
think I best work in the dark.
Well, your wife says.
You look the best in the dark.
She does say that.
He does say that, yeah. Yeah, you look really good.
Yeah, hey,
Awesome.
you're looking really good. Did you do something different? All right, let me get in the right spot, and then we'll be all good.
I'm holding it for whenever you're ready.
All right.
All right, on to the others.
Feels like a normal early foot brake though.
That's what we're looking for.
I mean, I've driven one of them. I'm an expert on that.
Well, it's a good start because we couldn't even roll the car before.
No, yeah.
So if we have some sort of brake and we can roll the car, we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now we just got to get it to run again.
I can drive this thing. I fit in that pretty decent.
Yeah, well.
We do need to do some test driving before we give it back to Pete, so it's ready to go. So
I'm the person that has to test drive it because you're like way down the seat.
I'd have to sit on a telephone book.
Me too.
Can we just do that for a video?
Did you look, I had to raise that seat up after I originally put it in.
Really?
I couldn't even see over the steering wheel.
How tall was the dude that owned it?
About the size of that.
What the hell was he doing?
That wasn't the seat that was in it originally.
Oh.
Okay.
I bought that interior out in Marion County, Indiana.
Nice.
I got the front seat, the back seat, the kick panels, the boot cover, and the door panels.
All right, so we got Pete's car back on the ground, got 4 tires on it again. The brakes have been completely gone through. And we got a fan back on it. Changed the distributor to fit the fan. I should probably have a light for that. But everything's back in and looking good. We went with we swapped his tires around on him. He had bigger tires on the back than in the front, and we swapped it around, and it does look like they're going to work. And it gives a little bit more of a tail dragger look. So, continuing on to the next task.
Did you check, make sure we have power to everything?
No, I just hooked the battery back up. We're going to see what happens.
What coil did you wire up?
The same one that was on the car. Want me to put the jump pack on it?
Did you spray it in the car?
No. Give her a snort there, Mike.
I can try that first.
Try that first? Okay. Not sounding good. Yep.
I'm sure we have spark is the other question.
The bottom that the
I think I did.
wire going into the oil.
Nope.
It's not plugged in.
No, it's not.
No, that's what I told you.
Oh, I thought it
When you were
was.
putting that vacuum tube in, you pulled it out.
Oh. Must have knocked it off.
See what I deal with?
I do shit like this too, so I can't really. I'm just smiling.
Ready?
Hold on, my hand's in there. Making sure it's in. All right, now try.
Yep, sparking. But it ain't spinning fast enough. Mike fixed it.
Give me some 12 volts and some.
All right, I'm gonna give you some juice.
Hey, did anyone hook
6.2
coil
volts.
wire up?
Ready?
Have at it. Oh wait, hang on. Why did that not turn on?
It's positive ground, so make sure.
Yeah, I got it. Yep. All right, it's on now. Yep.
Funny, when you get 12 volts, it fires right the freak out.
Yep. Give her another.
Yeah, 'cause you gotta fill both the carbs up. Damn it.
good fuel, but we have fuel. It's backfiring out of the carb a little bit. It's not happening. Oh!
Sorry. All right. Those carbs need to be redone, I'd say.
It
I'd
just shot flames at Steve's face.
Yeah, because the only way I can keep it running is pumping the accelerator pump.
Yeah.
All right, so we are back at it with the Pete's convertible here. So Steve worked on getting the, he had a pair of Stromberg 81 carbs. So Steve ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner, and then these are just some of our leftover parts here. But it's a little bit of a job because this thing's been sitting for a while. We left the jets and everything Pete had in it because he had jetted it all down for a pretty mild engine. And see, these things are like factory fresh looking now after the Eastwood ultrasonic and Steve's special touch. He also put some fresh fuel in it. Did that miserable job last week of draining 12 gallons of junk fuel out.
That was pretty bad.
So that was a big problem why it wasn't starting there in the beginning. And also Pete's been kind of grumbling to us after we gave him the car back that it was really hard to start and he was having trouble getting it to fire. Well, probably a big part of it was not only was it sitting, but it still had old gas. So even with us cranking it on 12 volt, it had a hard time to fire. So now it should be a little better. So we're going to try and get fuel up to the carbs. Of course, after we fire, we got to make sure there's no leaks or any of that kind of stuff. So we'll have to, there's never not a leak after you take everything apart. So Steve also cleaned out the fuel filters, some junk that came through when we first got it running again. So do all that, and then we could pull this thing outside under its own power again for the first time in a little while, and we'll see how it sounds and looks running again. All right, so we're not going to even waste time with the 6 volt thing. We're just going to fire it on 12 volt and get it to crank up, especially because we got to fill all the stuff up with the fuel being dry.
I saved some fuel to pour it down the carburetor.
Good.
So
That'll help.
hopefully we can at least get it to kick.
Yeah. All right. Helping some.
Yep.
Box is off?
Yeah.
Still don't got fuel there. I can't believe that that's not pulling fuel. So of course, after getting this thing running last time, the other day with the crappy fuel, now the fuel pump took a shit. So that's how cars go. Luckily, because we have a giant building full of parts, we just found a new old stock or old rebuilt Ford pump with the Ford sticker on it, remanufactured. And this one definitely has good suction.
Yeah, it does.
So we tried priming the pump. We primed the pump with the vacuum pump and it came right up. Gonna throw this pump in. Obviously that other one was not good. I think it was the one that was on his intake and just years of sitting like everything else starts failing. So we'd rather it happen to us now than the first time we take it anywhere far. farther than like down the block. And I'm not even gonna turn the ignition on yet.
Ready when you are. Yep, it's drawing fuel now. Let me give it a squirt.
Just keep an eye on the battery.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Typical shit, right?
Typical, yeah, exactly. God damn.
Well, what? You can smell the old fuel still though.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
And that coming out of the.
There's still gonna be a little bit in there.
Yeah. Round 7. Replace the condenser, the coil, and now we'll see if it still doesn't start.
Right, we'll see what the hell happens this time. These are just idle there.
Yeah, no, that's the problem.
Not spark.
Yeah.
At this point, we can rule out spark because it's idle.
Well, it wasn't idle before.
Yeah,
No, yeah, I know, yep.
And after we tried a bunch of fuel in this thing, it's trying to start.
Yep. Condenser, goddamn.
Same, and that was the same kind of shit that happened to the DeLorean Roadster.
Yep.
Where,
I thought
like-
when condensers went bad, the car wouldn't run. I didn't realize
Well,
it was...
yeah, well, they do that thing though where when we were standing here looking at it idling, it started missing a little bit. And I was like, man, is your mixture a little off?
Yeah.
And then you fucked with it. And then we were like standing around and it got a little worse.
Yep.
It got a little worse. And I remember I revved it and go, oh, I think it's loading up.
Probably happened is the condenser's getting hot and it's slowly, whatever the shit inside the condenser is breaking apart.
Yep.
The heat.
Definitely needs idle turned up there.
All right, we got Pete's car running just in time actually, because Pete's stopping by with some parts. With the condenser was the issue. The coil, we still have the newer coil on, but I don't think that was actually the issue. You can hear a little bit of an exhaust leak that was on there from probably 1947, how they modified the exhaust. We'll have to fix that.
Yeah.
Engine's super quiet though, other than that leak. It's got some temperature in it now, so now we're just going to make sure that it's close in the ballpark, so when Pete that was his horn.
Oh, damn, it works.
So anyways, let me see how it starts. So flip it on. That's how flat it should be. Can't even get your finger off the button and it's fired. So we're running on 12 volt right now just because it helps with diagnosis for the engine. So
It's way easier to crank the shit out of it with 12 volts.
yeah. If it doesn't fire on 12 volts on a 6 volt starter on 12 volts, then we got something else going on. So running it good. We actually don't know now if that fuel that we drained out was really as bad as we think it is, because
It couldn't have been good.
yeah, you're right. It was like orange. Yeah.
It was a horrible color and the smell was
Yeah, not great.
unbelievable.
So, but the fuel now, do you have your light over there? So, new fuel pump, you can see the fuel is nice and the correct color now.
Right. It's getting close to clear.
Yeah, it's getting better, especially for that tank price having junk in it, but pretty happy. So, starts and runs, now we can pull it outside here in a minute and let it idle again. All right, skirts on. Yeah, those skirts are pretty nice how they feel secure. Oh yeah, gotta put the flippers back on.
Yep.
And now we got the tires on the correct way. So
Exactly, you got the tires on in the correct spot.
it sits so much better.
It does. It made a big difference. Just that little bit maybe.
Just downhill, just the, you know.
Yep.
Sweet great stance.
Oh yeah,
Clear, yeah.
straight back.
Hands together here.
Good straight back.
Yep, keep going straight.
Got brakes.
Holy crap.
The thing ain't had brakes that good since 1946.
Been a while.
I should have recognized this
All right, so just in time for getting it running, Pete showed up, so it's pretty cool. We decided to roll it outside and kind of call this video done.
Roll it outside. We drove it.
Drove it outside, you're right. Roll it outside under its own power. So we drove it outside, kind of little step backwards after we dropped it off to Pete in the video a couple years ago, where just brake work that needed to be done, and then of course a fuel pump went bad and it's sitting in between a couple days, and a condenser, and just normal old car gremlins that you have to go through. They're not happy when they sit. They just have gremlins crawl in and, you know, start causing issues. So working through all that stuff. So now at least the thing starts. We got the fan mounted back on that we didn't have in the original video just due to time constraints, the correct distributor. So we're moving in the right direction. The engine isn't as dressed up as it was originally, so we're just gonna, with the engine we have in, drive it around for a little while, make sure all the bugs are worked out, and then we can swap on those I think Offenhauser or whatever heads that are on it, and all that stuff. But the next thing we'll probably do is just convert it to 12 volt, just to make it a little easier with the car not getting driven, you know, through the winter and all that stuff. It'll make it a little easier to fire it up for the first time. And Steve's gonna take a look and just make sure all the wiring is taken care of. But we'll obviously video the process on that. But we're getting a little closer. So we've also decided we're gonna get the convertible top done in it. One of our local friends, Jerry Laboranti, is a very talented upholstery guy, and he offered to do the top. He's known Pete for many, many years, and Pete's helped him out with parts and cars and stuff. So we are going to send it off to him, hopefully at the end of the winter, and by the spring we'll have a new convertible top, all the mechanical stuff will be gone through it, and it'll be ready to cruise and get enjoyed again. So it's very, very exciting to get this car back on the road for another time. So thank you guys for following along. Hope you enjoyed this little saga of the fun of old cars. Catch you guys later.